Don, would you please lead some prayer?
Lord, thanks for this time we can come and even through this meeting magnify your precious and holy name. Let us all remember where we are and conduct ourselves in a Christ-like manner. Thank you for this opportunity and the freedom to come and be a part of this town worship. Amen.
Go ahead and remain standing and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Brenda, would you go ahead and call the roll for us?
Okay. Mayor?
Here.
Myrtle? Here. Eugene?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
I guess we have a absent Brenda Floyd.
All right. All right. If you would, turn off your cell phones.
That's the home health people. She don't call me that. Okay, I'm sorry.
But I was just going to ask
Tell me
everybody
to mute my phone.
mute or turn their phones off. We greatly appreciate it. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and review the minutes from the June meeting, June 12th meeting.
No, we had the June 12th. We read those July.
Oh, did you? I guess I have a copy of it. All right. Well, let's cover the July then.
Okay.
I had a copy of it laying here.
Yeah, well, that's because you were here.
Okay.
We left it there, so you can see what we did. The Town and County Line regular meeting, July the 10th, 2017, call to order. Mayor Pro Tem Steve Brewer called to order the regular meeting of the council at 7 p.m. on July the 10th, 2017 in the Town Hall. The invocation was given by Mr. Don Hagel. The roll call was had. The following persons were present. Mayor Pro Tem Steve Brewer, Councilors Myrtle Van Cleek, Eugene Kiley, Brenda Lowe, Councilor Floyd Philpott, and Mayor Self were absent. The minutes of the previous meeting were read. A motion was made by Brenda Lowe to accept the minutes, seconded by Myrtle Van Cleek. Financial reports given, a motion to approve them by Brenda Lowe, seconded by Eugene Kiley. Motion carried. The new street sign and no parking signs have not been received from Blount County. The clerk spoke with Tanya Hill, District 4 Administrative Assistant, that they could bring them anytime, just call her cell and she would meet them up here. There was no other business and a motion was made by Myrtle Van Cleek, seconded by Eugene Kiley to adjourn. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 7:30 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Brenda Philpott, Town Clerk. Myrtle said 7:15, I said 7:30. Make it look like we really did something. We did. Well, we had to have time to eat our hamburgers and hot dogs.
Hamburgers and hot dogs. Okay. All right. Any comments, correction on the minutes from July 10th? All right. Do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion we accept as read.
Second.
All right, all in favor? That's unanimous.
Okay. Okay.
All right. The financial reports. We'll start off with the general fund. Our beginning balance was $25,748.55. Ending balance, $24,701.03.
That's not what mine
That's
says.
not
Yeah,
what
that's not
mine
what mine
said.
says, is
No, you're looking at you're not looking at general fund or something, you're not looking
I
at
have
July.
apparently picked up another June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm going, that's not what mine says either.
I'm sorry. We'll go with this one then. The general fund beginning balance is $24,761.03.
Right.
And the ending balance was $23,745.50.
There was a check outstanding that belongs to the neighbor. He did. You have a $60 check somewhere, buddy, that you haven't posted yet?
Yes, I just found it from
Okay,
folder.
okay,
Okay,
that makes the difference.
all right. All right, the next is the 2 and 7 account. Beginning balance, $6,457.26. And our ending balance is $5,737.93. The 4, 5, and 6 accounts, our beginning balance was $8,061.53. And our ending balance was $7,842.52. And the last is our capital improvements fund. The beginning and ending balance is $4,932.78. Okay, any questions or comments on the financial reports? If not, do we have a motion to accept?
Make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, unanimous? All right. We have no reports of standing committees or special committees. We do have the street signs available. We need to contact Locke County to get them delivered and preferably installed soon.
Yeah, I talked to Tanya Hill, she's the District 4 administrative assistant. And I talked to her and told her that she wanted to know when we could do it. And I said, we can do it anytime that you want to come. I said, just give me a call on my cell phone and I will meet you up here and hopefully that they will bring them and put them installed. I can ask her.
Please call her and ask her about installing
About the
them.
installing.
But also ask her to see if Commissioner Washburn has ever gotten a contract ready for us.
Oh, okay, for us to
for
sign the
County
contract.
services.
Okay.
This is to establish the new pricing based on the EMA, or what is it? Not EMA, the government standardized pricing list, whatever that is.
Whatever that,
It's U.S. government
okay,
publishes
okay.
a schedule for fees anyway. We need to sign a new updated contract with the county to provide services.
Okay, I'll call her tomorrow.
And, but also, before we have those installed, we have to get a copy of the survey map from Mr. Sport.
I'll call Mr. Sport, and see if I can get him. He should have, he's done it. I don't know why he hadn't given us he came up here and showed you the places, didn't he? But
Yeah.
you made,
Show where the stakes are,
Yeah.
but we need a copy of the survey map.
okay. I'll call him.
So that we know that we are placing them in the right
Right place.
corner.
All right, I will call Mr. Sport.
Okay. Other than that, that was the only thing I had on my agenda.
Well, it was better than Steve's last month. This was blank.
Eh?
I do have something I'd like to throw out.
Okay.
Don't know where we can go or what we can do, but I think we have a great and wonderful volunteer fire department in County Line.
Oh, we did.
And I keep hearing talk that they're in bad need of equipment. And I was just wondering if there was something that we could do to maybe help them out.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything that we could do or,
We should be able to make a donation from the town.
And find out, well, we could find out what they're trying to buy or something. and
well,
see
it's just keeping equipment updated. They're using old equipment and, some of them looks pretty rough. And I can understand the need of having you, but they don't have the funds to do with.
What is their coverage area?
Well, it's Dallas Southfield.
Yeah, Dallas Southfield, which is out on 79 Highway back.
They
It's
come-
the Dallas Civil Department.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's all
They have-
volunteer.
They have got some of the most wonderful volunteers. Now, my
They do.
husband fell and broke his hip. They come out there anytime I call them.
They've been to my house too.
Does that cover just the Blunt County portion of the county line, or do they
As far as I know, that's
As
it.
far as I know, because Trafford has a
Traffic
fire
covers
department.
Jefferson- traffic covers the Jefferson County Court? You can make a donation to them because they provide a service to the municipality.
Right.
Even though their coverage area is greater than just the municipality, you can, as a town, you can make a donation to them, or you
Yeah,
can
because
provide.
they go all over Blount County.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they have coverage.
They have a coverage area, right?
Greater than just the town, so it's
Then-
not like
I've seen them come on out this way. I don't know where they're going to. Somebody
Well-
told me they were going to Trafford.
every department,
Backs up.
well, they all have mutual aid agreements with everybody that adjoins their territory.
Yeah.
So they would have a mutual aid agreement with Trafford.
Right.
Then they would have one with Locust Fork,
Mhm.
probably with Pinson or
Yeah, Bradford.
Bradford, whoever they
Bradford,
join
yeah, they
that
have a
side.
fire station.
So they have mutual aid agreements, like, I'm the chairman for the West Blunt Fire District.
Yeah.
And so we have mutual aid agreements with every adjoining district, which includes Warrior, Jefferson County, and Ricetown, Mount High, Locust Fork,
Yeah.
Nectar. But, you know, the town of Haven has basically paid for a fire station and then leased it back to the fire district for 99 years. I mean, they've even done that in the past. So there's a lot of leeway you've got with them because they're providing a service to the municipality.
Mhm.
But you need to do it through a resolution. Make
Oh.
make a donation, if you wanted to make a donation to the fire department, it doesn't even have to be specified, it have to be in form of resolution to do it.
Okay. Well, I think we ought to pursue that.
Yes, I do.
Do you wanna talk to him? You want
Yeah,
me
but
to talk to him?
I'd like to,
So we just need to call, we have to do a resolution,
Yeah,
and I do want to pursue that,
okay.
doing a resolution. Anything, any special wording on it?
No, it just says
Just
that
the-
y'all,
The
everybody,
council,
council approved, and all the council need to sign it.
Okay.
So like I said, it doesn't have to be a designated gift, I mean, it can be just for their general purposes. But it's because, but you do it in the context that they're providing a service to the municipality.
right, for the service. Okay, to their, okay. Well, certainly, I'm all behind that.
okay.
All right, see if we can't get something, pulled together for the next meeting, and we'll address it then.
Okay.
Do that.
I can tell you just from our dealings with West Blunt, it takes about $1,100 to outfit a firefighter.
Mhm.
And the West Blunt district runs, well, last month they did 120 calls, which is even surpasses what Aniana does with a full-time, non-volunteer department. But in West Blunt, they have a combination of paid and volunteers. They pay volunteers per call. But I've been involved with them since 2012, and I can tell you that I've spoken to several of the volunteer departments around the county, and they're all struggling. They're all in trouble. They all have old equipment. They all have high repair bills. They all in the struggle for volunteers. So they all could use, especially if they're doing a good job, pure volunteer force. It's getting harder and harder to do.
I have a question that you might be able to answer, but the Blount County 1 cent sales tax, we get a small check every month, a couple $100, and it's designated for education or
Roads.
roads.
You have to it's designated for roads. You can, by the act, you are allowed to contribute part of it to educational purposes, like the local schools or any of the Board of Education activities within, like I guess y'all's nearest would be local schools. But other than that, it has to be used on roads.
Yeah, that's what I would-
Now, that can be, that's broad. I mean, your street signs that you're putting up,
That could pay for
that's
that. If we
roads.
had to.
You had to, that could be, that if you paid someone to mow the roadway somewhere, or a portion of the town, those funds can be used to maintain or improve roads.
All right,
So,
okay.
Well, we send them right now, we send Blount County all of our,
Gas
gas
tax.
tax for roads, and that comes in for our roads. And
This-
then we
this-
send them a check quarterly.
you should be getting a check from RDS once a month,
Yeah,
based on pro rata share, whatever population the town is based on.
right.
A certain portion of that moving Blount County Forward divided among the municipalities based on the last decennial census.
But it's only supposed to be used for roads
Roads or
Okay.
education.
or education.
I knew it was road or education, but I didn't know whether there was any leeway. I know that the volunteer fire departments are getting a portion.
The first, I think it's the first $50,000 of the tax each year goes to the fire departments equally. So
Countywide.
countywide, so I think there's 19 departments in the county, so
There's not a whole lot. of
not a whole
money.
lot. It ends up being less than $2,000. And that doesn't go a long way
No.
to,
Okay.
But I'm telling you, personal experience, I would not have been able to keep what, God, I turned you off. I thought. Anyway. I could not have handled Floyd at home since he broke his hip if I didn't have the volunteers. They come to my house. Even the fire chief comes. I mean,
Of West Blunt averages, and the only reason I know because I look at their calls every month, but they average anywhere from a low number of 85 to 80 to anywhere from 120 calls, and 80% of those are medical type calls. And had West Blunt not enacted the district vote where they have mandatory dues now, that would have been the number one thing we would have had to stop doing is responding to medical calls, because it's just that without the district vote, they covered 60 square miles of coverage here. It goes all the way from, I don't know if you're familiar with the creek in Sugar Creek, all the way down to the county line, all the way back to the western border of I-65 up to Blunt, all of I-65 through Blunt County is in the West Blunt Fire District, all the way back to Blunt Springs and over back to Sugar Creek.
That's a big area.
60 square miles. We're in the process of building a fourth station. So we had 3 that are operational. We just built the fourth station in Iowa. We have a tanker and an engine place there. But they've gone to a program now where we have two firefighters paid round the clock. One will be stationed at Smoke Rise and one stationed at station number 1 on County Road 7. And then we pay volunteers, I think it's $12 to $14 per call that they respond to. So we've been able to recruit and increase our volunteer numbers by that. But since we've gone to paying firefighters, they have not missed a call in the coverage district, and usually we average responding to a dozen calls outside of the coverage area every month.
Okay.
So the firefighters takes a lot of money. We will have the budget for the West Blunt Fire District for this coming year will probably be $370,000, $380,000.
Wow.
It's we'll operate 4 stations, 24-hour coverage, but 80% of the calls they're doing are medically related calls, either anything from a blood pressure check to a slip fall to somebody having trouble breathing. One thing you might want to be aware of too is that Blunt, and I know Mayor, you may have, the Mayor Association has a representative on that committee, but they're in the process of renegotiating an ambulance contract for the county. I think they're pretty close to finalizing that, so they'll be putting that out for bid so that there'll be a countywide ambulance coverage. I know in our area, Hayden, West Blunt, Mount High, they've had some problems with response times in ambulances because they don't have that many covered in the county. So this will be a countywide contract that they have monitored response time. So if Dallas Cephalon tones out an ambulance to respond, they have a certain amount of time to get there, and if they miss us, they go over that allotted time within so many times in a month period. I hadn't seen the final draft of the contract, but they get penalized if they don't keep certain response times. So that's a positive move forward for everybody in the county. We want to have hopefully better ambulance service starting in the fall.
Look forward to that.
It's a lot of, I never knew the degree of the medical calls that the department makes until I got involved with West Blunt. But like I said, I've been the chairman since 2012, and we've gone from almost not having a fire department to really now they have about, I think, one of the models for the state. It's a community vote.
Correct.
We had to have a referendum. We had to get 20% of the signatures in the coverage area to have a vote, and then we had to actually have the referendum in 2014. It passed almost 3-1 in favor of
Right.
forming a district and having mandatory fire dues. But we started out with $150 a year as fire dues. And they're mandatory. If you don't pay them, you could potentially have a lien placed on the property where the fire due is due. It applies to every residence, business, and church. That's the way the statute's written. There is a specific statute for Blount County that allows individual coverage areas to form a district. But once you do that, every residence, business, and church within that coverage area has to pay whatever the voted on dues are. We picked 150 because you can't change it for 6 years. And if you ever want to change it, you have to have another referendum. So we set the number what we thought would cover it for several years, 15, 20 years into the future. One of the things I'm most proud of that we were able to do is that we're able now to save the average homeowner more in insurance costs than they're paying in fire dues. When our rating went down to a 4 this past year, we were at a 7. We went to a 4, and there was, the least number I heard that somebody got a reduction was $185. Some people got as much as $400 reduction in homeowners insurance, which more than offsets what they're paying in fire dues. So that was the positive thing that we were trying to accomplish there, is so we would save the, that doesn't work on everything, but the average homeowner is saving more than they're spending. And it's because everybody's participating. And one of the things that volunteer fire departments struggle with is volunteer dues. And they for a while, West Blount put theirs on the water bills. Less than 22% of the people were paying fire dues through the water bill. So they were getting by on $35,000 to $40,000 a year in collection of fire dues, where it's mandatory dues at $150 a year. And we're not at 80% participation in fire dues. We still got about 20% of people that don't pay. We will collect $400,000 this year to fund fire department. We put online 2 new tankers, a new rescue truck, and we're bringing in this fall a new fire engine. Now that's with FEMA grants and matching money. We have best equipment we've ever had, best personnel we've ever had, in the community to serve better, I think, than they've ever been before.
And they're saving more money.
And they're saving, every homeowner, not everybody's saving, but, like, I'm in a building that has 3 businesses in it. So we each pay a fire due, but that's the way the statute's written. There's some inadequacies in the statute, like it doesn't allow you to assess vacant land, which last fall when you had a drought, there's a lot of vacant land caught fire.
Yeah.
So you're not able to assess the fire due for that. It's a flat fee. You can only assess whatever that due's set at. Doesn't matter if it's a 12 by 48 mobile home or if it's a $500,000 house. They all got to pay $150, whatever that amount is set at. They all got to pay. So it'd be more fair if it could be tiered, and it would be more fair if they could assess vacant land at some rate. But that's, the 3 fire districts within the county, they're Remlap, Pine Mountain, and Westmont. And they all outperform as far as their equipment, manpower, and others. The volunteer department really struggle. So anything, that's a long dissertation to get back around to what you're talking about, but anything you can do for your volunteer fire department is greatly appreciated and greatly needed.
Ours is like, they only ask us to give $75.
Yes, $75.
And there are people that don't pay that.
I know, that
I would bet their participation is probably less than 30%.
I don't doubt it. There's a sweet little old lady that comes around and collects it. every year.
she didn't
Or-
come. She didn't come
Well,
this year.
they'll mail us the thing,
Yeah.
and if we don't pay it, then she'll come around and knock on doors. But, now they do come around and knock on doors and ask for an extra, a gift.
Of $40.
Yeah.
That's, and they make a picture for something.
Yeah.
I don't know what their rating is.
Send pictures.
I'm not sure.
But, we, for a long time, West Blount was was a 6, then they went to a 10, which is like having no fire department. And then the minute they hit the 10 rating, everybody got notices that your homeowner's insurance is gonna go.
Yeah.
You don't basically don't have a fire department. Nectar just went through the same process. So when the rating went back down to a 4, and it's, that ISO rating is based on 3 things. It's 40% the water system, you know, like whatever size lines, how many hydrants you have. 50% of it is based on the department, your equipment, testing, training, response times, how much water they can transport, a lot of different things like that. 10% of it is graded on the 911 system. And they have some silly stuff, I mean, like you even get deducted points if you, for how your phone number is listed in the phone directory. For anybody that still has a phone book. I mean, you don't see me over around, but as innocuous as things like that. So we were able to get it down to a 4, which is, once you get past a 4, there's really no incremental value between a 3 and a 4. You know, I think Warrior is at a 3 or a 2, but there's no benefit in that rating between a 3 and a 4. If you're within 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant and you have a good rated department, you can really save a lot of money on homeowners insurance. And we even instituted a program where the department would pay half of the cost of installing a fire hydrant, because you got 60 square mile coverage area, not a lot of fire hydrants.
Right.
And it has to be on a 6-inch water main. You can have 10 hydrants on a 4-inch water line and they're not gonna count it. You get no credit insurance wise for it. So that's where their water system comes into effect on the grading. But a lot of things you can do to improve that number, but it's, it gets kind of squirrely.
Yeah.
And I apologize for getting off on that.
You
Well,
did,
No, it's interesting, but it's so hard for them, and I don't know. And they are awesome, I'm telling y'all.
yeah, they are.
I
They really,
got
I can back that up, they really
I mean,
are.
I can't-
They even get in their vehicles, their personal vehicles, I'm about to run.
Yeah.
They still document it just like they run that truck,
Right.
but they come in their own vehicles.
And they come in their own vehicles, and
Yes.
Now, the county pays for all the gas for the volunteer fire departments for their station equipment.
for their equipment.
Not now, if they get in their personal car, they're paying all the gas for it. But they,
Right. Well, sometimes they'll come in the, it's not really an ambulance, but
It's
a
it's,
truck.
yeah, rescue truck.
Uh-huh. And then the other times, they just come in their personal cars. See, we have a volunteer fireman that lives right across the street from me. And I call 911, and he answers the phone. He said, "Don't call 911, Miss Philpott, call my number." See, because what would happen is I'd call 911, and he'd get the number.
well, keep calling 911.
I will.
Because they
That
route that
shows.
and they monitor the number of
Right.
calls and they see how
Right.
much each.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, well, Heath, I need to call 911 so they'll have a
I
record.
call
on it."
him, then call 911, then call him.
Well, I call 911, and when I call 911, he gets the call on the radio, and he calls me. So, what's wrong, Miss Philpott? So, it's like having their own personal, they're so good.
At the first of this conversation, you said we could make, if, I call it like a one-time contribution if it wanted, it wouldn't have to be every year, right? Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we do have a little funding we've built up,
Yeah.
next year we may not, so.
Well, the resolution it'll have to be an annual resolution if we do it annually. And I would love to be able to do it annually, but,
We don't have-
but right now, we do have a bit of money in the account,
yeah.
and, it's August, and I don't think we're gonna run out of money this year.
No, hey, we was scraping by when we first came
Yeah.
in here, so.
So I think, I'm thinking along the lines of about $5,000.
Sounds good to
I think
me.
that would be a blessing.
I think that'd be a blessing for them.
I've took notes on what Greg said here, and I'm gonna find out some information on it and bring it back to the table.
To next
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, bring it back to the next meeting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the volunteers came to my house, and even the chief, and I guess he's a paid And no, he's not, he's still a volunteer at
Probably
Dallas? Okay.
I think they're all volunteers.
You know, they have a little station house right down the road here. on
Yeah, they
Green
built
Road.
another one,
And that
Dallas
has
too.
helped our insurance in Green Acres. That helped us.
But I
They
went
built
to,
that.
but they don't have it. I went by there the other day and they had a truck out there, but that's the first sign I've seen.
Magic numbers in that is 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant and within 5 miles, 5 road miles of the station.
Well,
That's where you get the maximum.
Well, that's what my insurance man one
Okay,
time
so
told
this-
me, that because we were within 5 miles of it.
That's one of the reasons that West Blunt chose to build a station. If you saw the West Blunt County where we had the groundbreaking for the station over there,
Uh-huh.
we built the station in Nyota because it's right at the 5 mile mark. Plus, to send a fire truck from Hayden to Nyota, they had to go all the way to Warrior to
Right.
the cement plant and go in because there's 2 wooden bridges and a railroad
Right.
bridge.
Right.
You can't bring a fire truck with 2,500 gallons of water across those
Across the
bridges.
wood. yeah.
So that's why we worked with ISO people to strategically place that station. We had somebody donate an acre, or an acre and a half of property, that we can build that station there. We're gonna build a fire station that's gonna be nice looking, it'll be heated, not cooled. We don't want the fire truck to freeze in winter. But we'll build that station for probably less than $30,000. And we have the equipment to place a tanker and an engine in there. I mean, it'll cut the response times down to that Nyota area by about 15 minutes, which in the case of a house fire is
Yeah.
critical time.
Can be awesome, because there's a lot of houses over in there.
Oh, you go down Commissary Road, they build houses on places and they fit the whole
Yeah.
road together. I mean, that's,
I know it.
Well, this Dallas Sheffield #2, the land was donated to them by one of the volunteer firefighters that has been to my house. And he lives on the property, and he donated a piece of his property for that Dallas Sheffield. He lives right down the road on.
Back off the road.
Mhm.
Turn and go out.
Yeah. But anyway, he donated for the #2 station, so, and I did see him up there working the other day with the truck and all of that, but I hadn't asked him anything about it, so.
Okay. Well, we'll pursue that. And
Do a resolution.
if council is agreeable, we'll make this initial donation of 5,000. Because our general fund is
Well, we
25.
can, yeah, we can vote that, yeah, because we got 25,000 or something like
Yeah,
that.
$24,700. So, yeah, I think that'd be money well spent.
But if we do the 5,000 this year, we have to do it next year too?
No.
No,
No, this is an annual.
this is just a
This is,
donation, whatever.
it's treated as a one-time donation.
Okay,
It's not a commitment to an annual donation.
okay,
It is a one-time donation.
okay, very good. Because
Yeah.
we don't want to empty the,
No, I
No, we
mean,
don't want
the
to, that's what I'm.
if there was some way that we could make it mandatory, that would be the best thing to do. But
but we don't ever know.
we might be able to do it for the town, but not the outlay in our areas.
it requires, to do a district vote, you have to have, first of all, you have to have a petition of equivalent of 20% of the registered voters within the coverage area. And then once you put that on a ballot, we did it when we put it on a general election ballot, so we didn't have to pay for an election. If you have to pay for an election, that's about a $5,000 expense. Which everybody go vote tomorrow, but I mean, that's,
Yes.
a special election costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you can tag it on when there's a, like a primary election or a general election, you don't have to pay for that special election. It can be added to the ballot. And,
Do we need to leave?
No.
but, the district vote for us made a huge difference. It allowed us to get to a different level of service and really just to maintain the department. Had we not had it, we would have had to look at doing away with some services. And probably the first thing we would have to look at was responding to all the medical calls. We had to use the ambulance service. So if you've had them come out for a medical call, you know the value of that, and
Oh, yeah. And the ambulance, I mean, they, Malone
And
County's come.
we have, one of the things we've done is we've paid for guys to become EMTs so that they can start administering IVs or dispense some level of medications before an ambulance gets there. So those are all things, and I'm sure if Dallas Elton probably has some people that are qualified as EMTs, but that's the kind of, we felt like had to have that to, number one, service just the size of the area. But also, it can be prohibitive for your area to grow if you don't have that service.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to come into an area where they don't have adequate fire protection, adequate flood protection. Still working on number 2 of that, but the fire protection, I think we have as good as we can get.
See, we came from Gardendale, and we had a fire station right down the road from us. And when we moved out here, that was one of my biggest concerns, was we had a fire department right by us. And then I moved out here, and I'm thinking, oh, what's gonna happen if we have a problem, you know? Well, they've been awesome. Dallas Elton has.
You know, and even during the drought last fall, there wasn't that many structure fires that occurred. You know, a big month in structure fires is 4 or 5 for a 60 square mile. But it's nothing to have 70, 80 medical.
Oh, yeah, and then they've got Highway 79, and they have so many accidents, and I like 160, they've got 79 highway to cover, so. I don't know how they do it with what they have.
All right. Well, we'll come back to this next month and do my best to have a resolution drawn up
Okay.
so that we can pursue that.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Any other items you need to bring up for discussion?
Don't know, Benny.
Make a motion with adjourn.
We have a motion
I'll second it.
and a second. All in favor?
Myrtle made it,
Myrtle made the motion, and Steve seconded, and it was unanimous.
and we are
This meeting
adjourned.
is adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.
Good to see you.